Welcome back now to our special show, 12th June, World Day Against Child Labour. And we're now joined by two individuals who spent many decades crusading against child labour and exploitation of children. Sunitha Krishnan, who runs Prajwala, a pioneering anti-trafficking organisation, and former top cop Amod Kanth, who is the founder of Prayaas NGO that's been fighting against child labour and helping distressed children. Thank you so much both for joining us today on the show. Amod Kanth, I'd like to start with you and, to talk about this last year and a half. It's created a huge challenge in this fight against child labour. The COVID crisis has now led to an increase in exploitation of children.
No, like in any other disaster, the children and women suffer the most, children the most. So the children during the past more than 1 year have suffered terribly. And we had the glimpses of it through our programs and activities. For example, Prayaas runs 6 child helplines. There are 600 more child helplines in the country. They received about 44 lakh calls with regard to children, and more than 4 lakh calls in a matter of 10 months' time were acted upon. Hundreds and thousands of children who became either orphans or were separated from family or were suffering huge kind of calamity, they came forward. And of course, since we run about 38 homes for children, there are large number of children who have been coming in our homes from various kind of backgrounds, various kind of situations. So primarily, I'm talking about the 30 million children who are said to be children in extremely difficult circumstances, children who happen to be without family support, who have been separated or whose parents have died, one of the parents or both the parents, the children of the adoptive parents or legal guardians, that kind of children. Now the Prime Minister Care Fund, since I happen to be the joint coordinator in Niti Aayog CSO Standing Committee, we had a meeting of the Empowered Committee 2 days back, chaired by Mr. Amod Kanth, CEO. And we tried to tell them that the PM Care, whatever money he is likely to give, should be channelized through a process. Right. Because a large number of them are there. For example, the NCPCR in a Supreme Court proceeding has filed, which I saw in paper today, 31,000 such orphans have been noted, they have been found, almost equally divided, 15,000 boys and girls alike. And majority of them happen to be in the age group of, let's say, 8 years to 13 years, which is the most vulnerable age. So now it comes from various ways, from various directions. And then we have to concentrate, we have to target those kind of children, right, first of all, who become orphans or without any kind of support. So that is our first priority. Then, of course, other kinds of children. All of them have suffered.
Absolutely need to double up our efforts and, really bring the government's attention to these issues. Sunitha, what has your experience been in this last year and a half? And child labour victims often face other forms of abuse, including sexual abuse and rape.
Nidhi, just adding on to what Amod Bhai has said, one major trend that we have seen is the poor were always vulnerable. Meaning there's no doubt about it. And there's a whole vulnerable communities out there. But what we see in the last 1.5 years is an increase in number of vulnerable communities. Children who are out of school, children who have no access to education because there is a huge technological divide. The people who are from the middle class and upper thing, they have their iPads, laptops, smartphones and things like that. But there are crores of families who do not have, for every child, iPhone, a smartphone or a laptop. And so completely access to education is cut off. The midday meal, which the child was getting access to, which was actually one full meal a day, that has got cut off. So what has happened is more number of liabilities in the family, and more number of children now getting pushed into different forms of exploitation. If you see in the last 1 year, the number of child marriages has increased many fold. The number of children who have been pushed into labor exploitation has increased many fold. The number of children who have been pushed into commercial sexual exploitation has increased manifold. And what was always there, that is online trafficking and online sexual exploitation and things like that, has increased. I can't even tell you how many folds in this last 1 year. And if you see the NICMEC report, you'll see India as one of the highest content generator of child sexually abusive material. So exploitation has been in the labor market. Exploitation has been in the flesh trade market. Exploitation has been in the virtual space of children. So everywhere, children have taken the disproportionate burden of being exploited. What is very, very scary and very shocking is the forms of exploitation has also changed. We see in terms of labor exploitation, we see more number of children being brought for nighttime work. In a particular rescue done here in Hyderabad, where around 40 children were rescued, the children were brought at 8 in the night for work till early morning daybreak at 4 o'clock. Now, in the darkness, in the garb of darkness, these children were not only being exploited for labor purposes, but they were also sexually abused. They were also, meaning we have had in just 1 month, 3 cases of gang rape in Bricklands that has been reported. And just imagine when people get so desperate, children get desperate because they are the only earning members of the family, the chances of reporting also becomes minuscule. So if the cases that is reported is 3, it could be easily 300 too, because nobody wants to report, because if you report, you lose that opportunity for earning too. So what is happening today is a catastrophe that none of us can actually fathom in terms of numbers.
Absolutely.
All of us, whether it is Prayaas or Prajwala, we're just touching the tip of the iceberg. And that itself is so difficult to handle.
Thank you so much, Sunitha Krishnan and Amod Kanth, for joining us. And really more power to both of you. We need you both more than ever in this fight against this victimization of children, exploitation and child labor. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.